As you grow older, life starts to reveal truths that you might not have noticed in your younger years. People around you begin to treat you differently, and sometimes it feels like there's a distance, even a hidden dislike. Many older adults sense this shift, but what's important to remember is that it's not always about you. It's about how society views age, change, and growth. Let's explore why this happens, not to discourage you, but to help you rise above it and live with pride, strength, and wisdom. Number first, envy of your wisdom. Envy is one of the most powerful and hidden emotions that people carry, and as you grow older, it often becomes one of the biggest reasons why others secretly dislike you. Many people don't realize that aging comes with gifts that can't be bought or copied. Wisdom, experience, and resilience are treasures that only time can give. When others see you holding this knowledge and strength, they sometimes feel envious because deep down they know they haven't yet walked through the storms you have survived. You have endured hardships, made sacrifices, and overcome challenges that built your inner strength, and that strength shines in ways younger people cannot fully understand. Instead of admiring it, they may feel threatened because it reminds them of what they lack. Envy often grows when people compare themselves to you. They see the way you can face life with calmness, the way you understand problems without panic, and the way you find meaning in even the smallest things. These qualities are not given instantly. They are earned through years of living, through pain and joy, through failure and success. Many people who haven't yet experienced life in this depth secretly long for those qualities, and that longing can turn into resentment. They might avoid you, ignore your advice, or dismiss your words, not because you are wrong, but because your wisdom exposes the areas in their life where they still feel weak. This envy is also connected to the fear of time. Younger people often live in a rush, chasing goals and achievements. But when they meet someone older who carries peace and perspective, it challenges their way of thinking. They envy your ability to step back and see the bigger picture, something they have not yet mastered. Your very presence shows them that life is not only about speed but about depth, patience, and endurance. Even if they don't admit it, they look at you and realize that age has given you something precious, and it frustrates them because it is out of their reach until they too grow older. Number second, fear of aging. Fear is one of the deepest reasons why people secretly dislike you as you get older. Your presence reminds them of something they cannot escape, the reality of aging itself. Many people spend their lives trying to avoid the thought of growing old, losing youth, and eventually facing mortality. When they look at you, they are forced to confront a mirror of their own future, and that creates discomfort they may not even realize. Instead of respecting the journey you've walked, they allow fear to shape their emotions, and that fear can disguise itself as dislike or distance. Society glorifies youth, energy, and beauty, often pushing the idea that aging is something to hide or fight against. Advertisements, media, and culture constantly sell the message that growing older is a problem to be solved, rather than a natural victory of survival. When someone encounters an older adult who embodies the truth of age, it unsettles them because it breaks the illusion they are trying to hold on to. They may not hate you personally, but they hate the reminder that time does not stop, and one day they too will walk the same path. This fear also grows because aging carries change, and change is something many resist. You show them the reality of slowing down, of facing health challenges, of watching people come and go, and of carrying memories that younger people haven't yet had to bear. Instead of seeing your strength and living through these transitions, they allow fear to twist their perception. Your existence challenges the false sense of permanence they cling to, and that makes them uneasy. But what they fail to see is that fear is actually hiding a powerful truth. Aging is not something to dread. It is something to embrace with courage. The years you carry are not a curse but a testimony of endurance, proof that life has been lived and lessons have been learned. While their fear may turn into silent dislike, it is not about you. It is about their own struggle to accept what is inevitable. You, by simply existing with dignity, remind them of a truth they cannot control, and that truth can feel frightening to those not ready to face it. Number third, misunderstanding and stereotypes. One of the most painful reasons people secretly dislike you as you grow older is misunderstanding. With age often comes a heavy weight of stereotypes that society has unfairly attached to older adults. People begin to assume you are out of touch, unable to adapt, or too slow to keep up with the modern world. They look at your age first and your wisdom second, and this lack of understanding becomes a wall between you and them. Instead of listening to your words and appreciating your perspective, They dismiss you as if your voice belongs to the past. This misunderstanding creates distance and sometimes even silent resentment because people do not value what they do not try to understand. In today's fast-moving world, everything is about speed, technology, and constant change. Youth is celebrated as the ultimate prize, while age is often seen as a disadvantage. This creates an environment where people judge you based on false assumptions rather than reality. They overlook the fact that wisdom takes time to grow, that true insight comes from experience, and that patience is a skill only life itself can teach. When they fail to see this, they reduce you to stereotypes, and those stereotypes become a reason for silent dislike. Misunderstanding also happens because of generational gaps. The way you see life may be different from how younger people see it. But that doesn't mean it is wrong. You may value stability, respect, and tradition, while they chase innovation, independence, and speed. Instead of learning from this balance, they misunderstand the differences and judge you for not aligning with their mindset. In their eyes, you become too old-fashioned, even though what you carry is timeless wisdom that could guide them through challenges they haven't faced yet. The truth is, people often dislike what they cannot comprehend, but their misunderstanding is not proof of your irrelevance. It is proof of their short-sightedness. The lessons you hold, the stories you carry, and the perspective you share are treasures that society overlooks. You are not out of touch. You are in touch with truths that only a long life can reveal, and misunderstanding them does not reduce their value. Number 4, insecurity of others. Insecurity is another powerful reason why people secretly dislike you as you grow older. Your very presence can stir up feelings in others that they are not ready to face. When younger people look at you, they sometimes feel a quiet sense of competition, even though you are not competing with them at all. You carry decades of experience, wisdom, and resilience, and that creates an invisible pressure for others who have not yet built the same foundation. Instead of admiring your journey, they allow their insecurity to twist into silent resentment, because deep down, your strength highlights their weaknesses. This insecurity grows stronger when people notice your authority. You have lived through struggles that they only read about or imagine. You have faced hardships and survived, and that survival gives you a kind of inner confidence that cannot be faked. Younger people may look at you and feel smaller in comparison, not because you make them feel that way, but because your presence reminds them of how far they still have to go. Insecurity has a strange way of turning admiration into dislike, and many people secretly carry that conflict inside them when they are around someone older. It also appears in conversations. You might share advice or insights that come from a lifetime of learning, and instead of appreciating it, they may dismiss it as outdated. This reaction often comes from insecurity, because your words reveal gaps in their understanding. Rather than admitting that they still have more to learn, they protect their ego by pretending not to value your wisdom. In reality, they fear the depth of your knowledge because it makes them question their own. The irony is that insecurity in others has nothing to do with you. It is their own self-doubt, their own lack of experience, and their own impatience with growth that creates these feelings. You simply become the mirror that reflects those weaknesses back to them. What they fail to see is that your presence could be their greatest guide, if only they had the courage to set their insecurities aside and learn from the strength you have built over time. Number 5. Surprise at your independence. Independence is one of the most surprising qualities that people often fail to expect from older adults, and it can become a hidden reason why they secretly dislike you. Society has created a picture where aging is associated with weakness, dependency, and decline. Many expect older people to slow down completely, to step aside, and to live quietly in the background. When you break that expectation by living strong, active, and independent, it unsettles those who believed otherwise. Your independence challenges their assumptions, and instead of celebrating it, some respond with silent resentment because it forces them to rethink what aging truly means. This surprise comes from the fact that many people underestimate the resilience of the human spirit. They assume that age limits your ability to make choices, to dream, or to live fully. But when you continue to take care of yourself, pursue goals, and stay active in life, it reminds them that aging is not the end, but a continuation of freedom in a different form. For some, this is inspiring, but for others it is uncomfortable because it destroys the narrative they held in their minds. That discomfort can turn into dislike, not because of who you are, but because of how you defy their limited beliefs. Your independence also highlights the fears of those who feel trapped in their own lives. A younger person might feel stuck in routines, responsibilities, or stress, while you, even at an older age, show a level of freedom they cannot achieve. That contrast can stir envy and insecurity, and instead of admiring your strength, they may secretly resent it. They see that you continue to make your own decisions, live with dignity, and hold on to self-respect, and it reminds them of the freedom they lack, despite being younger. What people fail to realize is that independence at an older age is not an accident. It is the result of discipline, perseverance, and courage throughout life. It is proof that aging does not always take away strength, but often reveals a deeper kind of power. When others react with surprise or dislike, it only reflects their own narrow vision, not the truth of what aging can be when embraced with pride. What stood out to you the most today? Which of these reasons do you see reflected in your own life or in the lives of people? By noticing them, you have already taken the first step toward building stronger, warmer, and more lasting connections. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.